All right, let's talk about Lamar Jackson. I thought Lamar Jackson looked very good in this game. Some red zone issues, which we'll get into, but the Ravens certainly moved the ball effectively and sometimes in ways that they had struggled with in seasons past. Like something like this. This is what gets you excited if you're a Baltimore fan. So it's 3rd down and 5, and what they're going to do is a quick wide receiver screen. Well, why? Because of the way Tennessee is set up. They're showing cover 0. We all remember that infamous Brian Flores Dolphins game when they ran cover 0 like every play, and Baltimore just couldn't do anything with it. Well, here it's a similar look, and they're going to try a screen pass, which is typically a good way to beat this type of coverage. Watch how when this play begins, look at how the offensive lineman for Baltimore and tight end Mark Andrews doing a great job at getting out there and getting in position to block. And now you have the ball in Nelson Aguilar's hands. This is really interesting, and this is a good situation. It's set up well. These are things that have not worked out historically for Baltimore, but right now it's looking like it could be a good situation. And as you see, watch Aguilar go, and he's able to pick up a ton of yards. I mean, listen, Aguilar, say what you want about his catching and all that stuff. If he can just do this for Baltimore, that's actually huge. Like, that's a big concept that can give them some issues. And if he can do that, and if the offensive line can get out and block for him, that actually could go a really long way towards their offense just being more complete, right? Because that seems to be the main thing they tried to do this offseason. Not try to be better at blowing out bad teams, but try to be a more complete offense so when a team does match up well against them, they're not just screwed like they have been in years past, like even famously the Titans in the playoffs. Also, going over here, I thought Lamar just made some good throws. Like, I still feel like he doesn't get enough credit for how he can be as a pocket passer. And this is an example of it, where it's going to be a zone coverage play, and you have a receiver running a route that's going to, it's Zay Flowers, and it's going to kind of get into a bubble, right? But it's not necessarily an easy throw, especially Titans. They tend to cover these plays pretty well. Like, watch how Lamar is going to take the snap. He looks over in that direction. He fires in that direction, and this is quite frankly just good defense. This is not a wide open play. The Ravens are going to have a good throw and a good catch to make something like this happen. But as you see, that's exactly what Lamar Jackson is able to do. Zay Flowers, good catch, good work by those two guys to help get the ball down the field. That's exactly what you want to see if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan. And quite frankly, it's what you do see. Like, this isn't that unusual of a thing. This play was a lot of fun. It's kind of a little bit of a blast from the past a little bit here with Odell Beckham Jr. running a slant route. It's against zone coverage. Remember when he was with the Giants and the Odell Beckham slant was just a legitimate game-breaking play at times where Eli would hit Odell on one of those quick slants and Odell would take it 70 yards for a touchdown. Well, this isn't going to quite have that effect, but it's the same idea. Let's see what we can get here on a 3rd down and 5. As you see, Lamar is going to take the snap. He looks over. Odell is open, but I love where Lamar puts this football. As you see, right on the money, Odell is able to make the catch while moving, picks up a ton of yards, still has a bit of explosiveness there, right? And that gets you excited. That makes you say, okay, there's some real stuff here. It is possible, again, coming off of an injury, a bit rusty, it might just take him some time to fully get back to the, Odell Beckham Jr. that we know he can be. We saw it with the Rams not too long ago. This was definitely flashes of greatness from Odell that you definitely want to see. Now, going over here, it wasn't all like that. This is a 3rd down and 4, and quite frankly, this is still the issue with the Ravens. And while I want to sit here and say, look at this, look at this play, look at that play, all of that good stuff, there still is this red zone issue. And what's the red zone issue? It's, I think, in large part, still not having a true number 1 receiver. I think having a true number 1 receiver matters in a lot of places, but one of those places where it really matters is, the red zone. On this play, again, they went out, they paid Odell Beckham Jr. to hopefully be a number 1 wide receiver. They didn't exactly pay him number 1 wide receiver money. They paid him a chunk of change for sure, but usually a true number 1 receiver going to get more than that in the open market. But with Odell's injury history, taking a bit of a chance here, and so far, he's brought some things to the Ravens. I just showed you that flash he showed earlier. Hasn't quite been the consistent number 1 guy you were hoping he can be, yet so far through 6 games. Watch as Lamar Jackson takes the snap. He's going to look up, and, the defensive back's doing a good job kind of creating contact and almost boxing Odell out. Odell can't get towards the top of the screen. Lamar's still going to decide, hey, you know what, let's make this throw. I think his mindset here is he's going to try and put it in a spot where only Odell can catch it. Either it's going to fall incomplete if Odell's able to get a clean release and get to the football, then he can make the catch, but if not, it's just incomplete. Lamar's throw, though, it ends up being high, ends up, not really giving Odell a chance. I think that was a bit of a missed throw. I also think Odell didn't exactly give him a big window to make the throw, so it kind of went both ways, and that's just, again, whoever you want to blame. If you want to blame Lamar, if you want to blame Odell, if you want to blame no one and say it's good defense, you can do that as well. All of that is certainly fair. But at the end of the day, these are still the things that the Baltimore Ravens, they just aren't hitting on right now. And I do think that that's what allowed the Titans to kind of hang around here, despite the fact that I think the Ravens were pretty clearly the better team. I mean, total yards, 360 yards to 233 total yards. And yet this was still a one-score game. I think a huge part of it why was the red zone, only scoring one touchdown and kicking 6 field goals. Also, I want to talk about this play. I haven't talked about Lamar's running at all because contrary to popular belief, he is not a running back. He is a quarterback. However, I still do feel like the running ability is such a positive aspect of his game. And even if they don't use it as much as they did like rookie season Lamar, I mean, listen, he still had 13 carries in this game. He was their leading rusher in terms of yards by a pretty good margin, 62 total yards. Gus Edwards, 16 carries for just 41 yards. But also just, when they do dial up runs, it can sometimes be in really important spots. Like something like this, it's a 3rd down and 2. And I've broken down this play a number of times, but the way it works is you could be handing the ball off to the halfback. You could be keeping the ball yourself and running towards the outside if you're Lamar Jackson. The edge rusher who I have circled, he is the biggest question on this play. If he, sometimes you do these as options. The Ravens tend to not. They tend to already have a decision made up. But typically the hope is that he can't fully go out and protect the team from a quarterback run, because if it is a handoff, well, now you've just taken yourself out of the play there. Watch as Lamar takes the snap, and you see that right there, the edge rusher takes just a little step in. It's nothing major, but again, Lamar is just so quick that a little half step, that's all he needs. I mean, watch him completely run around, gets a little bit more yards before finally going down. There was a flag. It was on the defense. So, didn't end up mattering too much in terms of the first. They would have gotten the first down either way, but this just made it easier to not just get the first down, but get more yards after the fact. And, of course, you don't know that the other team is going to commit a penalty. So, really good stuff there from Lamar, and this is just always a play that's in your playbook if you're the Ravens that isn't in the playbook if your quarterback is Tom Brady, right? There's just that little benefit. But yeah, as a whole, there's still some question marks with Baltimore. There still are some growing pains, some things they have to work on. No denying that. But to me, the good is still there. They're still showing a lot of great stuff. And if they can just get a little bit cleaner on offense, and I don't know what you do. Hey, maybe there's an option to trade for a receiver, although if a number 1 receiver comes available, I think a lot of teams are going to be giving them a call, but still, maybe that's an option if you're Baltimore. And if not, then maybe they just need to get, maybe once Odell gets fully healthy, he'll be that guy. Mark Andrews has shown flashes of being that guy too, just a little tougher for a tight end to do it. But, either way, I think good day for Baltimore, good bounce back performance despite maybe not having the most explosive numbers. I thought the tape was very good. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.